So after we talk about a lot about what are the specifications, what are the duration, the time, and the characteristics of the project. And here we want to ask, what is the project management? Okay, so here's the classic triple constraints of the project management. It focuses on the time, the scope, and the cost around the quality. Okay, so the project management, it is about the time, the scope, and the cost. And the time usually refers to the schedule of the project. And the scope means what are the things that you have to accomplish in the project. And the cost mostly relates to the management of the budget and funding of the project. So how do we manage a project? First, we have to identify the requirements. For example, if the project is to manufacture the iPhone, the goal of manufacturing the iPhone must be fully confirmed with the clients, which is the Apple company. So if you intend to provide a warehouse, it is also important to understand client's purpose of using the warehouse. Usually, the client wants an efficient and fast and automatic warehouse system that help the storage and shipment processes. Okay, so it's very important to understand your client's requirements. Second is to address the various needs, concerns, and expectations of the stakeholders in planning and executing the project. So therefore, the clients will request various needs that the project manager has to take into account. Number three is to set up, maintain, and carry out the communications, which is very important among the stakeholders that are active, effective, and collaborative in nature. So after the requirements and the needs are fully confirmed with the stakeholders, the project manager can start to execute the project and continuously communicate with the stakeholders. And number four is to manage stakeholders towards meeting project requirements and creating project deliverable. Okay, so to a company and to the project manager, regular meetings are required to make sure the project is on the track. And number five is to balance the competing project constraints, which include the scope, the quality, the schedule, the budget, the resources, and the risks. So one of the project, once the project kicks off, the project manager has to balance the competing project constraints, which include the scope, the quality, the schedule, the budget, resources, and the risks. And once you start to manage the project, you have to understand which phase you are in the project. And here is a project life cycle, which is very important to the project manager because it helps them to understand which stage they are at. Okay, so there are many constraints and limitations in the project. Therefore, the project life cycle can help the project managers to understand and determine which phase or stage they are facing with corresponding reactions. So before the project life cycle, there is a pre-project work, as you can see on the left-hand side of the figure. Okay, so the pre-project work include the needs assessment, the business case, and the benefits management plan. And once the pre-project work is confirmed, the project life cycle starts and we'll go through the four phases that are starting the project, organizing and preparing, carrying out the work, and completing the project. So in a starting the project phase, the most important thing is to define the project charter that allows the people who are involved in a project can fully understand the goal of the project and responsibilities. In the third phase, which is the organizing and preparing phase, project management plan will kick off to execute the project. And there are different gates. And these phase gates are used to control whether the phase of the project life cycle to move on to the next one or not. Okay, so as you can see here, in the project life cycle, there are four different phase gates to control different phase. So once we understand the project life cycle, it is very important for us to match the project life cycle to the process group. Okay, so the four phases of the project life cycle can match to the process groups, and these five process groups are the critical process of the in the project management. Okay, so as you can see the figure in the middle, uh, the arrows are in purple color. The project life cycle can match to five phases of process groups. And the five process groups include the initiating, the planning, executing, monitoring and controlling, and the closing. And the whole groups are supported by the 10 knowledge areas. So we will go through the details in the following slides of the process groups and the 10 knowledge areas.